Hello, you're watching Avenue X, and today let's talk about a just finished airing Chinese contemporary web drama, Filter, 滤镜. This is a 32 episodes drama that has just finished airing on the platform Tencent. It is led by Tan Jianci and Li Landi. It's an original script written by a very famous Chinese drama writer, Tong Hua, and she's best known for her period drama 步步惊心, Scarlet Heart. She's also the author of Lost You Forever that was hot in 2023 and arguably last year too. But this is a contemporary romantic drama, more specifically a contemporary fantastical urban romantic drama. A more rare genre in Chinese dramaland, probably due to a lot of censorship limitation. To very briefly tell you what the story is about, in case you don't know yet, our two leads, played by Tan Jianci and Li Landi, were high school classmates. But they have some very weird misunderstandings about each other's position towards the other person back in the days of high school that they never actually resolved. When they become adults and ended up working in the same company, the guy is the chemist and developer of cosmetics, whereas the girl ended up working for the marketing of this company. This story thematically would be basically these two people breaking their wrong filters about each other through the magic of a bangle that the girl got hold of for some weird reason that can change her outward appearance. So it's a version of Pride and Prejudice, but in the contemporary setting with a little bit spin of high tech. That is, on the surface, the romantic and fantastical storyline, but beneath that, there is this constant discussion about what is beauty. Inner beauty versus outward appearance beauty. On the most superficial level, it's a very entertaining, fast-paced, fun drama to watch. Probably is one of the most funny drama I've seen in the last couple of years coming out of China. Then on the deeper level, right, if you are into the more in-depth analysis of the human psyche, the drama also provides a quite satisfying level of discussion in an idol drama. It can be enjoyed on multiple levels, which is already one of a kind among pretty much every other idol contemporary Chinese dramas that I can think of in recent years. About two gold mine, and that mostly comes from the writing quality, the message it has, the really opening up imagination part the drama has. From its technicality side of things, I probably wouldn't rate it that high. And in terms of messaging, it really didn't go, let's say, 100%. So that's why it's not a three gold mine drama for me. But it has performed 90% of the time, exceeding my expectations. So this is definitely a strong recommendation drama from Avenue X, the first one I would highly recommend you to check out in 2025. I want to quickly mention first a few points that are on the so-called negative side, the side that reduces scores for me for this drama. Then I'm going to talk about all the good things about it, and probably at the end of it, still mentioning one point that I wish it could do better. First, let's talk about a couple of things that would rate this drama down for me. First, production standard, acceptable, based on your understanding of the average production quality of Chinese idol dramas. Basically, it is the overall capability of the main creatives using what they're given to tell a visual story. That ability of this crew is at a very average level. In the writing department, they did a very good job of making it engaging, funny, and milk the setup to the maximum. So that's all down to the writer's side of things. But I'm saying in the hardware department, say from costume to lighting to color, to how you move the camera, how you link the shots together, how you edit, how you, for many comedy scenes, direct the actors. I don't think they are the best people out there right now in Chinese drama land. So there are many things I feel if the people who are shooting this scene are better at actually telling stories with camera, they could make it 20% more effective and engaging, even funnier, even more high energy. This is a fantastical story. It gives you the license to go a little bit out of normal range in terms of lighting, for example, in terms of how you edit things, how you use music. I mean, they are doing it, but they're not doing it to 100% that I know better storytellers can do. Right now, it looks very average, like just any other Tencent idol dramas looks. that you can think of. It's not bad, but there are ways to make it look a lot better, which they unfortunately didn't do. If you compare it to highly stylized and very intentionally designed looks, for example, of a lot of K-dramas, you know what I mean. Second, this is not necessarily a bad thing, but if you're expecting highly sexually charged, chemically explosive CP happening between either the male lead or the female lead, or the male second and female second in this drama, you're not gonna get it. So this is not your typical idol drama where it very much hinges on the chemistry between the two leads on that very hormonal level. By the point where the two leads really have fallen for each other, it's pretty late in the drama, and also I think they fall because for the theme of the drama, it actually worked out really well, which is they didn't fall for each other's appearance. They really fell for their inner beauty. In that sense, it actually works out quite thematically correctly by casting these two people, that they have this not based on physical attraction kind of attraction they have for each other. But if you're looking for that type of thing, right, in an idol drama, which a lot of people are, then it's not gonna be very obvious. It worked more on the rationalized love relationship level. So now let's talk about what's good about this drama. Once you move beyond episode 1, when the ridiculous things start to happen, you're gonna have a wild ride. Point number 1, the definitively most attractive, obvious first thing that's gonna attract anyone to the drama and probably keep them there is it is so ridiculous and wacky and funny. It's the wackiest, funniest, most unexpectedly weird but highly logical romantic drama I've seen for a long time from Chinese drama land. You are constantly jumping between. You lunatics, who would ever even think about this type of plot? And then, oh, actually it makes perfect sense for the characters in the story setting to do the things. And I don't want to spoil it too much for you, but you probably have already seen a lot of short clips. I would highly recommend you still watch the drama, because even when you see those little clips that in themselves look so funny, if you put it in context and understanding what happened before and after and why the characters do the things they do the way they do it, you have to watch the whole thing. It will be even funnier. So if you want to get entertained and laugh like you probably haven't laughed because of a Chinese drama, watch this drama. You will not be disappointed. And it all hinges on the fact that the female lead gets this superpower bangle, and once she wears it, she couldn't take it off, so she kind of gets also trapped by its power. It basically scans her and then holographically project a version that she wants herself to be, so she can become a different person, looking differently, dressed differently, different height, although if she goes on the scale, she actually still weighs the same. It's just the illusion of the outward appearance. And this bangle updates regularly. During its update time, which sometimes takes a day, she will get stuck in that whatever look she ended up with before the update. I don't know, it feels like a joke on Windows. Every time it updates, it gives her extra ability. It begins with she can turn into just one person, and then it goes to second level where she can turn into objects. So she ended up being a painting. She even turns into two-dimensional animation characters. More stages of updates happen, and she can turn into animals. She can project another being within a distance of her and change another person's appearance so that that person can look like whatever she wants that person to look like. Eventually, she ends up becoming like invisible even. And so it just keeps changing. And every time this significant update happens, more plot and comedy and ridiculous scenarios that will involve the male lead will happen. So it keeps the drama's energy going and keeps it interesting. You have to go and watch it yourself to get completely blown away by unexpected comedy. And I highly appreciate the fact that when she turns into other person, so it will be played by other actresses and actor, yes, like the guy who actually was Tan Jiansi's 情敌 in Lost You Forever, the actor Wang Hongyi who played 赤水风龙 also played the role, who actually is the female lead's projection of a not existing person. So there are weird things of contemporary Xiang Liu and 赤水风龙 living in the same hotel room. Anyway, what I mean is these actors who play Li Landi also did a phenomenal job. The most important thing and biggest selling point is the wacky setup and then all the comedy that gets caused by the setup of the form-changing bangle that the female lead has. It's worth you checking out the drama, just this one point. Second point, I kind of already mentioned that, which is although it's ridiculous and wacky, it's actually highly, highly logical. How this Bangle works, what's its limitation, how the female lead and male lead, the female lead's friends, who are all set up as the level of clever people. For example, the female lead, when she tries to get out of the dilemma of she's actually multiple people, but she cannot show up at the same time as multiple people, early stage of the Bangle's ability, how she would get help from her friends, female second, for example, her sister, to play this grand game to get away with that and to cheat. On the other hand, it really put a lot of effort into, say, for the male lead's character setup, because he's a doctor, he's a very logical and scientific person, and he does not read web novel, so he doesn't have that way of immediately get to the conclusion that this is a female lead character having superpowers. So he would, from very scientific angle, trying to explain why these things are happening. And it makes perfect sense from his point of view. And he's also very clever. Like, he doesn't get fooled easily, but eventually he still finds it out because he's clever enough. They did their best to make it logically pretty much work out. Is it perfect? Maybe not. Maybe at some point I would say the male lead is just too still easy to fool, because there are too many coincidences that the female lead is trying to explain why this is happening. You can only explain it away with basically the male lead is just too kind and he's too not cynical, therefore he wants to believe in other people. You can argue whether that's completely believable, but apart from that, logically it actually works out. Unlike a lot of Chinese dramas that just doesn't care about the department of logic. Third, obviously, a point that pretty much everybody who's watching this drama would highly appreciate is its message, outward beauty and inner beauty. And it takes a very reasonable, calm way of looking at the situation. It's not the slogan shouting, oh, appearance does not matter at all. It's the inner beauty that's the most important thing. Because the female lead, while she's not very happy with what she looks like, she's not also completely not confident because she's super strong. They set her up as this physically very strong girl who was trained as a sports woman since she was a kid. So if she wants to, she can literally physically overpower all the main male characters in this story. That gives her that level of confidence. Here, just bracketing that the fact that they try to make Li Landi play a girl who's not very confident in her outward appearance is quite ironic. I guess because it's idol drama, and to some extent you have to make the male lead and female lead pretty enough so that it sells as an idol drama. And then so they try to style her down and make her like not caring about her appearance, looking too normal, but honestly with her face, right? She barely needs any touching up and she still looks so much prettier than average people. So probably that's one contradictory point the drama has with its own message. In its message delivery, I still say it's doing a very good job and a lot better already than most of the other contemporary dramas I've seen from China. It sits at this really realistic zone. And as the story progresses, as she learns the benefit she can get from having a beautiful appearance, but also the trouble that comes with it. And as she gets to know the male lead more and more, she understands that he is not as superficial as she thought he was initially. Through her transformation into a couple of different characters, first the super sexy, beautiful femme fatale lady, then the second clever, intelligent, but not caring outward appearance doctor, she also gets the opportunities to talk to other female characters in the story about their values and how they deal with their insecurity about their appearance. Some really good dialogue written comes out of that. For example, the second transformation she has as the doctor, when they were having this conversation before the doctor got dressed up and is about to go to a public event, and she's kind of breaking down because she is not confident in what she looks like, or she's not comfortable dressed up as this pretty, presentable lady that she never is. Our female lead sits down with her and saying, you spent 36 years of your life getting to this point, being the top researcher of your area, and you've earned the right to be whoever you want yourself to be. You don't have to conform to anything. Very nicely written and very naturally played out in that scene. And it makes this drama just a little bit more deeper than the normal, fantastical, happy idol drama you're gonna get. And this drama keeps talking about this topic. It goes to many different levels through the interactions, through the interesting plot twist you have with the Bangle. So I would say, apart from the apparent comedy value, entertainment value of this drama, it does have a level of thought-provoking discussion about topics as such. Although it really doesn't go to full length, one thing is its representation is by an actress who is actually really pretty. The fact that Li Landi is there is kind of a little bit, like I said, irony, because she is by no means average looking. I think when they were picking the actresses, they were thinking if we pick somebody who is way too plain, it's just not gonna sell the drama. People are not gonna be interested, and it's still, at the end of the day, an idol romantic drama. Or they cannot find, I guess, an actress who is good at acting enough, not that pretty, but somehow can also exude that X factor, that even when she's not traditionally pretty, she can be still very attractive. Like, that's really hard. I don't think they could find the perfect actress for this drama in Chinese drama right now. Therefore, they picked her. Overall, she did a good job, but she's still too pretty. Right? That's one point that probably is a little bit awkwardly sitting with the story's message. And there's another thing when I was watching the drama, although I really highly appreciate this drama, okay, I love how they set up the male character, female character, all the comedy part, even the second couple. There's this question that comes out of me, which is Tang Qi, the male lead character, is always actually Tang Qi. And then Su Chengcheng, she's always her. Very kind, brave, generous, good girl. And if it wasn't for the Bangle that gave her the first breaking in point where she has this beautiful femme fatale appearance that ended up being picked by the male lead because of their encounter that made her work as a model for their makeup, gave it an opportunity for them to get to know each other better. Is it fair to say that because of their wrong filters and the whatever problems they have with each other, that they may never be able to develop a relationship they eventually ended up with? Yes, eventually what attracts a person to another person for a long term, would be what that person really is like, their personality, their integrity, and how well they fit the other person's view of themselves or the world, like how they are in sync. Those would be the most important thing. At the end of the day, it's not really the outward appearance. It only works for that, bit. But then, if you don't have the initial attraction, the initial interest, because he already has a wrong filter on you, so he will never see you as who you really are, and suddenly you become somebody else, you have a different appearance, and he will not bring that baggage with him to view you, and he will view you as a completely new and relatively speaking more neutral perspective of getting to know you, and then eventually see who you are, right? If you lack that one opportunity, then everything that could happen afterwards will not even have the first opportunity of getting initiated. Therefore, it will lie probably permanently dormant. So that begs the question, even if the outward appearance is not a long-term sustainable reason for people to feel constantly attracted to each other, it may be essential, unavoidable, irreplaceable at the beginning stage, because it has to give a reason, it has to kickstart something. I'm not saying in the story setting, if they never had a Bangle, the girl who works at this company, and Tang Qi, right, they wouldn't eventually work out who each other are, because they still work together, they see each other daily, and there will be plenty of opportunities for them to in work, in other ways of life, like eventually find out who each other is and actually feeling attracted to the person. But that may be, say, not gonna happen in half a year or a year. It may take 5 years, 6 years, and the time drags on. You never know, and something would happen. Maybe one person leaves the company, goes to another place to work, and it never happens. Possibility, therefore, never gets initiated. We live in linear timeline. And that is the, I don't know, like as I was watching, right, I would be questioning about that. Overall, really good, because 99.999% of the time, Chinese idol dramas will never even get me think about anything. Take a step back and question things. It never gets to that point of necessity. You don't need to turn your brain on to watch most of the stuff. At least this drama would make me go, but then. So that's already an achievement. I'd say, if you have to say where it slacks off a little bit, which is towards the end of the drama, when finally the secret of the Bangle is completely out, and between the male lead and female lead, there's no secret anymore. They go into the normal couple love story. Although it still has a little bit fantastic element in, it does reduce the tension. and the possibilities of all the deductive and cat and mouse game earlier they had trying to hide Bangle's secret, it slacks off a little bit. The other thing is, very end of the drama, last couple of episodes, it starts to become just trying to tie it up quickly, make everything rosy and pretty, and people get married, people have like happily ever after. It starts to slide back into the normal storytelling, particularly regarding the second lead couple. The fact that the girl, she's not into marriage or children, all that. She wants to stay single forever, which is like totally valid. Her romantic story with the guy is like working really nicely up till the last bit, which I'll spoil it here for you, which is like she gets pregnant. And I'm like, is it necessary? For that plot, their relationship can just end in the gray zone of they never commit, but they're both happy with it. Like, she does not want to get married, and he's like, I don't care about that either. I like you, and that's all there is. I mean, what's wrong with that? Plenty of people in reality are living like that these days, not just in China, everywhere in the world, because the tradition of the marriage contract thing is just getting really old. It's no longer fitting the current realistic way of living for 21st century people in a lot of places. It just no longer fit. It's gonna get phased out by humanity. I'm looking at it like in half a century's time, probably it's gonna become irrelevant. I'm not saying she has to say, oh, I will stay single forever, and that makes me a strong woman. That's totally not the point. If you watch the drama, you'll know she really does not care about getting married and into a traditional relationship, and she's perfectly happy as she is. So why would they necessarily need to put that pregnancy plot in it? And even if she does get pregnant, she still can say, well, I'll still stay unmarried. You know, like, I have plenty of resources that I can bring up a kid myself, and if the guy wants to join in, fine. But it still doesn't mean you have to get married. Anyway, personally, I just think that's totally unnecessary for the story to add that little bit at the end. Another thing, and I am not 100% happy about the story, is at the very end, they never quite explain exactly what the bangle is. They found a lady who gave the bangle to the girl initially, and then they returned it, and she disappears. She walks away. She just cycles away, leaving her flowers there, and it's done. Who is the old lady? Why would she give the bangle to her, to Su Chengcheng initially? What's her purpose? Why would she eventually call her suddenly where she never called her? Was she watching? And what's the purpose of it? So she contacted her at that point to say, you can come and, you know, whether you want to return to me or not, like, we shall see. And she still encourages her to keep it, but then Su Chengcheng doesn't want it anymore. So it just magically comes off where previously it does not. Can you explain any of that? I find they just put this fantastical element in it and they didn't bother to reasonably explain it away. It could be a high-tech thing that they're looking for volunteers, or they randomly give it to people and just record what happens. Or it could be like for even bigger purpose. If you don't return it, they will recruit you for future tasks for you to do, because now you're master of using this thing. Like, give me some kind of explanation, please. It didn't. It just like, old lady showed up at the beginning, old lady showed up at the end. Done. Go figure. So this drama is not perfect for me. There are parts of it I wish it could do better. But at the end of this video, I'll still emphasize this is a drama that entertained me a lot. While it was airing, I really did chase it every day. It was the first drama I would click into every day when I wake up and go into the working mode and watching dramas. Again, I think proving the writing quality, the story's engaging quality, how interesting the story is, probably is the most important thing of any dramatic storytelling, over, say, the perfect casting, the chemistry, over saying special character setup, over saying beautiful hardware. Like, they're all important. But if you have the story down, so engaging that you want to find out what happens, that already does like 80% of the job for you. If you haven't tried it, I highly, highly recommend you check it out. Once you go on the roller coaster of the Bangle part of the drama, you're not going to be able to stop yourself. That should be the end of this video. Thank you for watching UX. I'll see you in my next video. Meanwhile, live long and happy drama watching.